According to Jordan Travis's agent, the Jets tried rushing Travis onto the field, what ultimately led to several setbacks. But did the Jets really do that? We'll talk about that and much more, all coming up here on a Sunday edition of NY Flight Jets Talk.
Jets, Jets, let's go.
Jets wide receiver Wesley Walker. Wesley, how you doing today?
ESPN writer, Mr. Rich Samini, Jets reporter for The Athletic, Mr. Zach Rosenblatt, Hall of Famer, and Jets legend, Mr. Marty Lyons.
Your host, Connor Law.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back into another edition of NY Flight Jets Talk here on this Sunday, March 3rd, 2025. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button and you are subscribed to the channel. It's completely free, and it helps us grow significantly here on the program. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the start of the 2025 NFL Draft, and currently, we're at 1,662, so make sure you hit subscribe on your way into the building. It's completely free, helps us grow significantly. Like, share, and subscribe is the free way to help us significantly grow on the show. The paid way, though, is contributing to our membership raffle. Every $2.99 super chat and every gifted membership will get you a ticket into our raffle. Our number one Austrian Jet fan, who, by the way, you didn't claim your prize yet. You have till Friday to claim it. Number one Austrian Jet fan. DM me on all social media platforms or email me, clongpw715@gmail.com is my email. I will throw it in the chat because you want a Bill Parcells signed photo during our February membership raffle on Friday. But now you come in with a 5-pack of gifted memberships, and by the way, we have the prizes locked in for this month's membership raffle, so you know what you guys are bidding for. KG131 In Motion Football. You're the I'm not the assassin. Family show here, ladies and gentlemen. Kay Garen, you were all channel members. Thanks to our number one Austrian Jet fan coming in with 5 gifted memberships, 5 raffle tickets for you. We'll throw the leaderboard on in a second, but proud to announce we got a lot of prizes for this month's membership raffle. Past 2 months, we've had 4. The first one we had 4. Last month we had 5. Well. Now we have 7 total prizes for this month's membership raffle, and the prizes are elite. A Wayne Corbett signed jersey, a Darrelle Revis signed photo, a Al Toon signed photo, a Keyshawn Johnson signed photo, a Jericho Cotchery signed photo, a free item from our merch store, and a channel emoji among the prizes we are giving away this month. So the largest membership raffle we've ever done. You get a ticket into our raffle. We'll throw the leaderboard on down below. Every gifted membership will get you a ticket or every $2.99 super chat. So a $50 super chat equates to X amount of raffle tickets when we do the math and add it up. And then every membership, 1 membership gets you a raffle ticket. 100 memberships get you 100 raffle tickets, so on and so forth. Can't thank you guys enough for all your support here on the show. Throw your questions in the chat. I will get to those. If you want to call into the show, you could do so with the pinned comment at the top of the chat. But let's get into the big news from today. So, solid news dump, I will say, for Sunday overall. Normally the weekends are slow when it comes to Jets news, but Sunday, last day of the combine, news was flowing today. I will say that news was flowing for the New York Jets, and a news piece that came out during Rich Samini's weekly news dump that he throws in the that he throws on ESPN.com once a week and in the morning. And the main takeaway for me was he spoke to Jordan Travis's agent, had a sit-down interview with him, and Jordan Travis's agent flat out blamed the Jets for the reason why Jordan Travis spent the whole season on the NFI list, the non-football injury list. He spent the whole season on that list, full redshirt year, and some reports even came out that Travis was getting so frustrated the way his rehab was progressing that he just stopped showing up to the facility at times. But anyways, when the Jets first drafted Jordan Travis, they knew he was going to be a project in the sense from a health standpoint. When he suffered that injury during his final season at Florida State that left him sidelined for the rest of the year in November, a fractured and dislocated ankle that also stretched some ligaments. When the Jets drafted him, they didn't expect him to come in right away and be a backup. Obviously not a starter, but even just be a backup. So it seemed like the expectation from myself at least, and a lot of the fan base was, okay, you draft Jordan Travis, nice. He's going to come in full redshirt year. Why not? There could be something there. But no one expected him to come in and make an impact during year 1. Well, When Rich Samini sat down with his agent, this is what his agent said. Here are some of the big takeaways. Quote, his rehab was not the best, said his agent, Dedrick Jackson. They tried to rush him. It was too fast. There was pressure on the coaching staff, and they tried to get him sooner than the timeline, get him going, sooner than the timeline really was. That caused a setback, and we had to shut him down completely. This is an absolute joke to me because the agent's going to now come out. He seems like a disgruntled guy to come out and now try to call out the old Jets regime for what they did. A few takeaways from that blurb from his agent, Dedrick Jackson. His rehab with the Jets was not the best. Well, a Jets spokesperson later confirmed the Jets followed the same rehab plan provided by his doctor, Dr. Robert Anderson, who ultimately performed the surgery on Travis. So there's that there. And then next up, they tried to rush him. It was too fast. I am not buying that by any means. They tried to rush him. Give me a break. Like I said at the top of the show, there were no expectations for Jordan Travis when the Jets drafted him. The expectation was it's probably going to be a full redshirt year coming off a gruesome injury, even if it's not a full redshirt season, third string, fourth string type guy. The Jets had Aaron Rodgers, who didn't miss a single snap in 2024 due to injury. They had Tyrod Taylor, who was a more than serviceable backup. And they even had Adrian Martinez on the practice squad who showed something during the preseason. And you're trying to tell me they wanted Jordan Travis on the field and they were rushing him? They would have started him over Aaron Rodgers, who didn't miss a snap due to injury. Someone who, again, I didn't want Aaron Rodgers back, but was pretty much top 10. He's top 10 in touchdowns and top 10 in yards. And you're telling me the Jets were trying to rush Jordan Travis on the field to replace that guy? You're telling me the Jets were trying to rush Jordan Travis on the field to replace a more than competent backup in Tyrod Taylor? I'm not buying it whatsoever. Someone who suffered this crazy injury that required surgery. In November, the Jets were trying to rush him onto the fields. That's BS to me. And after this, and it's something I've been talking about for weeks, but especially after this now, there's a chance Jordan Travis might not be on the roster entering the 2025 season. First, from just the overall playing factor, I think there's a chance the Jets sign a veteran quarterback. They obviously have Tyrod Taylor on the roster. He's not going anywhere. They have Tyrod. There's a chance, in my opinion, strong chance, they sign another veteran in free agency. Well, Justin Fields not really a veteran. They add someone in free agency, whether that's a Justin Fields, whether that's a Taylor Heineke, whether that's a Marcus Mariota and Andy Dalton type guy. I think they'll add someone in free agency. And also there's a chance they go ahead and draft a guy. A Jalen Milroe, a Will Howard, a Kyle McCord, a Riley Leonard from Notre Dame, someone of that nature in the later rounds. So that said, Jordan Travis is the fourth quarterback. Most NFL teams do not carry four quarterbacks. Jordan Travis could be the odd one out because he's someone who has shown nothing during his time with the New York Jets, and now his agent is making a lazy decision to try to call out the old regime. Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji, this is a new chapter for the Jets once they stepped in the building. They wanted to erase everything that has happened in the past, clean slate, keep everything in-house. I could see Aaron Glenn looking at this report and what his agent said and going, we don't need you here. We don't need you here. Because personally, I would take Marcus Mariota and Will Howard before I took Jordan Travis. What has Jordan Travis shown that he's worthy of a roster spot? What are you, gambling on pure upside? We're talking about someone who wasn't able to walk a few months ago and you want him to come in and play the quarterback position? Give me a break. I think there's a strong chance Jordan Travis never logs an NFL snap, and his agent's out here talking trash that the Jets were trying to rush him on the field. His experience wasn't too great. This could also be his agent potentially. Maybe Travis isn't happy with the organization, which I couldn't give two craps if he was or wasn't. I really don't care what Jordan Travis's mental state is when it comes to the new Jets hires and the new chapter of this organization. Maybe this is his agent trying to push Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji's hand and say, either cut Jordan Travis or trade him because he doesn't want to be here. I'd be fine either way. What's his trade value, though? Like, if you were to trade Jordan Travis, I think it's a scenario where you have to give up Travis and a pick to earn something back. Because let's be real, he was a fifth-round pick, and now he's experiencing, quote, setbacks in his rehab. Maybe you give up the Jets have 2 sixth-round picks next year. Yeah, they have 3, sixth-round picks next year. So, some just floating an idea out here, guys. This is nothing official. Maybe you do Travis and a 6th for a conditional 6th. Travis and a sixth for a conditional sixth in 2026 or 2027. Something like that. Because I don't think Jordan Travis, I don't think you could trade him. At this point, I think you move on, though. There are just so many other options out on the market. I'd rather bring in a veteran and draft a guy than just bring one of another and keep Travis. Because I don't think you're really getting anything out of him. There's some people who've been banking on him now. And if you've been listening to the show for the past, you can even say 4 months since the season really started, you can't bank on Jordan Travis for anything. You have to view him as someone who's just waiting there. Anything you get out of him is a bonus. Maybe what you get out of him is a day 3 pick. And you try to flip him for something. Or you cut him and you open up some more cap room. Then open up a roster spot for a Justin Fields. Something like that. This just really, really frustrated me today when I read this. The fact that his agent is trying to come at the Jets. When, first off, I didn't even mention this. Before the day before the first round of the draft, Tom Pelissero reported he spoke to Travis's doctor, Dr. Robert Anderson, who performed the surgery on Travis. And the doctor told Pelissero that at the absolute latest, he would be cleared by training camp in late July. Well. Jordan Travis never took a snap for the Jets this past season, let alone snap. He never even took place in a practice. And his agent has the nerve to come out and call out the New York Jets and say it's their fault he didn't participate in the practice. Give me a break. And they were trying to rush him on the field. That's my favorite part. The Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas were eager to win. They wanted to rush Jordan Travis on the field when they already had 3 quarterbacks ahead of him. One, the starter, Aaron Rodgers, who didn't miss a single snap due to injury. And the other one, Tyrod Taylor, who's more than a competent backup. And then you have Adrian Martinez as the third guy who's shown he's an okay third stringer in the preseason. Like, give me a break. I'm just tired of it. Goes back to the same thing, out with the old, in with the new. You don't like it here, Jordan Travis? Cool. We'll flip you for a pick. Tired of it. Calling out the Jets, ladies and gentlemen. An agent of a 5th-round pick who the Jets drafted with a gruesome ankle injury, calling out the Jets for trying to rush him onto the field when they had 3 quarterbacks ahead of him. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it with this stuff. Appreciate you all tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button. You are subscribed to the channel. Sorry for the fiery tirade there, but I can't do it. Can't do it. Jordan Travis's agent calling out the Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Keep the questions coming. We'll get to those. Pin comment at the top of the chat if you want to call into the show. Appreciate all your support as always. Nathan Shells has been a member for 1 month. Comes in the chat. Nathan, thanks so much for your support. You've been a 1-month member of Connor's A Team, it appears. So I appreciate you as always. Hugh Jet Fan comes in with a $5 super chat. Might as well join the raffle. Hugh Jet Fan, I will equate that into raffle tickets at the end of the show. Should be around 2 raffle tickets for you. Thanks so much, my friend. Appreciate all your support here on the show. Then he comes in with another $5 super chat. Appreciate you as always. Feisty Connor, boy wonder, is now a man. Hugh Jet Fan, appreciate you. Appreciate all your support as always. That should be about 4 raffle tickets for you. If you guys want to get into our membership raffle, you could do so. Every $2.99 super chat will get you a ticket, and every gifted membership will get you a ticket. The leaderboard's down below. Q Jet Fan will update the leaderboard after the show with your tickets. But the prize we're giving away this month include, we announced them earlier today, a Wayne Corbett signed jersey, a Darrelle Revis signed photo, an Al Toon signed photo, Keyshawn Johnson signed photo, a Jarrett Kilpatrick signed photo, a free item from our merch store, channel emoji. The largest membership raffle we have ever done. So get in on that. If you haven't already, can't thank you guys enough for all your support as always. Here on the program, I threw a Q&A in the chat. You can answer it by clicking ask something. Just click that, throw your name in. Who should earn a channel member emoji? Because we added some channel member emojis and we still have a lot more to unlock. So we added the Connor Long emoji. I'll throw it in the chat, which is just my headshot. I didn't know what to do. Come up with something creative for that. And then Jeffrey R., who won our channel emoji during the membership raffle, requested something and he approved of it. So that is the Jeffrey R. and Connor Long emoji. Those 2 new emojis are live for the channel members, so spam it in the chat. If you're a member, appreciate you guys. Appreciate all your support. As always, here on the show. Where were we in the chat? Mr. Jetski's in here extra early. My sleepers are Will Howard, Kyle McCord, and Riley Leonard. And Riley Leonard stood out. I love Dart, but getting that Zach Wilson vibe. I am not sure why. So Will Howard, you guys know me. If you've been watching the show, I'm super, super high on Will Howard. Overall, he's 6'4", 235, looks the part, plus level athleticism and mobility, capable of making plays on the move. Great arm talent, make plays in and outside the pocket. Over 1,800 dropbacks his collegiate career. And then just a very, very accurate passer overall. Didn't have the best combine yesterday, but I don't put too much stake into how a quarterback looks throwing the ball in their underwear. I watched the 11, whatever, 12 games a season they play. In Will Howard's case, he made it all the way to the national championship because he's a pure winner. It's another reason I really like him. So I don't put too much stock into how they look throwing in their underwear. McCord is another one I really, really like. I have him just below Howard on my board. Very, very mechanically sound as a thrower overall. Quick, snappy release. When he's in the pocket and he has time, he has rhythm, that's where he thrives. Very accurate pocket passer, like I said, and then knows when to add, layers of velocity, touch, doesn't overthrow guys, doesn't underthrow guys, just overall a very, very accurate passer. Comp for him, like I've said many times on the show, is Jared Goff. And I think if Darren Muji, Aaron Glenn, and Tanner Engstrand see anything in Kyle McCord that resembles Jared Goff, they might try to make a move on him. And then Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard's an interesting one, someone who made the national championship. I'm not that high on him as other people. I have him as my quarterback 7 this year. I mean, look, solid athleticism, overall mobility. He has the arm talent. I like his arm talent in the sense he has that strong ability to throw down the field. His deep ball has been very, very accurate, and then throws with good layers and touch on his ball. So I don't hate Riley Leonard. He's a 5th round type guy. I wouldn't hate. As for Dart, if you guys have been watching the show, you know me. I'm not too high on Dart. King Jamie the Mad, our Chiefs fan in the house. I heard the Jets might try to trade up for Ward. That would be a fun move to watch what he could do for you guys. I like that kid, and I'm happy to see Aaron Glenn making the right moves and changing the feel of the Jets. Here's the thing. Here's what I'll say, King Jamie, regarding when it comes trading up for Cam Ward. We heard another report from Dan Graziano that the Jets are actually legitimately interested in it. The Jets, especially Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, are going to have to be in love with Cam Ward to give up assets to trade up. Because I'm going to pull up this tweet. I have it open right here from Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic of what it has caused teams in the past to have to give up for the number 1 overall pick. We saw it in 2023. We'll go full screen on that, and then we'll zoom in so you guys can see it in a really, really good angle. So in 2023, this is what the Panthers had to give up. They traded DJ Moore, the number 9th overall pick, a 2023 second, a 2024 first, and a 20 which ended last year ended up being the first overall pick. Keep that in mind, and then a 2025 second round pick. All that so they could trade up and draft Bryce Young. Look, Bryce Young put together a nice back end of the season, but overall, if you ask me right now, Bryce Young is trending towards bust right now. He's trending towards bust. And they're still feeling the ramifications, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to have to they lost their second round pick this year because they had to trade up in 2023. The reason I say Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are going to have to be in love with Cam Ward in order to trade up for him is for that. You're going to have to give up a lot of capital. And also, their lives here with the Jets, their future, their whole regime is tied to how that quarterback performs, whether they draft him this year or next year. They essentially pick up an extra year if they pass on a quarterback this year. But if they draft Cam Ward and he thrives over the next 3 seasons and he's just insane, making all these plays, talks of offensive rookie of the year, playing like an average to above average quarterback, then people are going to want to build statues for Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji outside of MetLife Stadium. On the flip side, if he comes in and he plays like Zach Wilson for the first 2 years even, Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are going to be on the hot seat entering year 2. Entering year 3, rather, excuse me. That's why I mean, if Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji want to trade up for Cam Ward, that shows me they are really, really in love with Cam. Really in love. Because their future with the Jets is tied to however that quarterback performs. Whether it's Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, they're not going to be tied to Kyle McCord if you draft him on day 2 or day 3. You're not going to be tied to Will Howard if you draft him on day 2 or day 3. But whoever they take a big swing on, it's either going to be this year or next year. We know that. At the quarterback position, they're going to have to be in love with them because their lives with the Jets are tied to that. Lake Jet fan. Why do I really think the Jets will trade for number 1 overall pick? They will include Adams in some picks. Bleacher Report floated out that idea. The Jets gave up the 7th overall pick, a second-round pick, Adams and Rodgers. Here's what it was. 2 second-round picks, a first this year, Adams and Rodgers in exchange for the number 1 overall pick. So that was an idea floated around by Bleacher Report. I don't want to trade up to number 1 point blank period. If you can throw Adams in there and it's at Adams and Rodgers and it's a reasonable price, sure, because Rodgers and Adams are players we've just assumed they're cut. We're cutting them, not getting anything in exchange. We're moving on. If you can get something in exchange for them, sure, that's a bonus, but it has to be at the right price. It has to be at the right price. I'm not overpaying for the number 1 overall pick. I'm not giving up those 2 guys. We'll just throw Adams in there because that's the name you mentioned. I'm not gonna throw in Adams, 2 1s and a 2 or 2 2s because I think that's just complete nonsense. I'm not doing that. At the right price, though, why not? The Jets are really, really gung ho on we're trading up. We're trading up for Cam Ward, you could throw Adams in there, sure, but I'm not making that trade willing. I'm not trading up for Cam Ward point blank. Period. I just don't think any player in this year's class is worth trading up for. Wild Wave is in the building. Channel member, channel moderator in the house. Appreciate you tuning in. As always, Dylan Terraman of Jet Nation supporting the show. Check out Dylan. Follow him on Twitter at DTerraman. Read his work, jetnation.com. Listen to him, Jet Nation YouTube channel. Great stuff as always. Dylan, we haven't had you on the show in a while. Hopefully we can get you on soon. We'll work that out. We'll figure that out behind the scenes, if you will. Dylan comes in and says Jordan Travis is now becoming the next Jeremy Ruckert. Fans love him way more than they should for a player who will give the team very little. I understand Ruckert because he's from Long Island. I understand that to an extent. I don't get the Jordan Travis love. I don't understand that at all. Why? Because he was exciting to watch his final year in college before he suffered a gruesome injury that now he might not take an NFL snap in his entire career. I don't get it. What is the love with Jordan Travis? Ruckert Dylan, at least I understand. Oh, Long Island kid. Oh, yeah, drafted him from Ohio State. He could be fun. Let's root for him. He's from Long Island. There's no homecoming, I think Ruckert grew up a Jet fan too. There's no homecoming, great story. Jordan Travis is from Jersey, grew up a Jet fan. There's none of that. So at least I get the Ruckert thing to an extent. I've never been in that boat. I want Ruckert gone after this season, but at least I can understand that. I don't get the Jordan Travis love by any means. Zachary, Jordan Travis in November has nothing to do with Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji. It has to do with the sense that his agent, now months later, that happened in November. Months later, since it happened in November, now is going to reporters like ESPN's Rich Samini and calling the Jets out, the old regime out. It doesn't have anything directly to do with Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, but I can see them looking at that and being, who does this guy think he is, trying to call out an old regime while we've been very vocal on trying to keep everything in-house, turning the page and moving on? That's what I can see. Dan says 7th for a 6th. So Travis and a 7th for a 6th. Conditional 6 maybe. I think his value is so low. Here's something that could be interesting. Travis and a 6th for Hendon Hooker. That could be interesting. Because the Lions have been vocal on they're trying to trade Hendon Hooker. I think Hendon Hooker would be a great fit for the Jets as a backup. Knows the system, has upside, he's healthy, unlike Travis. And Jared Goff isn't the Lions franchise quarterback. Let's call it how it is. He's one of those veterans like Baker Mayfield or Geno Smith, who's not necessarily a bridge option, but I'd say he has 3 to 5 years left with the Lions. So Jordan Travis isn't going to have to come in and do anything right away for the Lions. But what he's going to have to do is you could pretty much replace him with Hendon Hooker and say, we don't need to worry about you. Hendon Hooker was clamoring to get an opportunity. Travis, we don't need to worry about you. You're coming off an injury. Stay back on the bench. It's okay. You could be our backup. Who's the Teddy Bridgewater? He's going to go back to retirement. Then they basically flip Travis for Hooker. They could sign someone in free agency or draft a guy. That could be interesting. Travis and a 6th for Hendon Hooker. I would do that. For sure. I would be on board with that. Where are we in the chat? They're a quarterback that you do like watching throw in his underwear. Dan, I put no stock into the combine, especially when it comes to quarterbacks throwing in their underwear. I don't get it. I don't get it by any means. Jay, Greg Cosell says that McCord is not going to make it in the NFL. Good for Greg Cosell. I think Kyle McCord's Jared Goff. I think Kyle McCord. I see why he could say that in the sense that he's not the most athletic quarterback we've seen, but hey, he's able to improve his mobility, which you could coach a little. He's able to improve his mobility his first few years in the league. He's going to be a really, really solid football player because he has the arm, he has the accuracy, he has the football acumen. He could be a really, really solid player if he improves his mobility, for sure. Zachary, dart problem is mechanics, and he panics under pressure. I don't know if he could read the field. Zachary, there are a lot of Jackson Dart issues. Like you mentioned, very, very slow processing defenses post-snap. Number one for me, the Ole Miss offense that Lane Kiffin runs is not a pro-style scheme by any means. And then when pressure bears down, you mentioned he struggles. His lower half mechanics are embarrassing. When he throws, he's like this. His top half goes one way, and his lower half twitches the other way. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. Franklin, respect your Howard take is not respect your take. Howard is not accurate and cannot throw in tight holes. This is not OSU when folks are running open all day long. A few things, Franklin. He has over 1,800 college dropbacks, one of the most experienced players in this year's class. That you're saying he's not accurate. Short and intermediate throws, he was very, very consistent. Highly consistent last season. Won a national championship, too. Finished 5th in adjusted completion percentage. As I look at my spreadsheet, my draft guide that I've been making as I watch more tape. 5th in adjusted completion percentage. You're saying he's not accurate. 5th in adjusted completion percentage. Okay. What was the other point? Can't throw in tight holes. When OSU folks are not running open all day long. He can't help that he has a solid receiving core. Still a top quarterback. I'm telling you, he has one of the highest floors in this year's class. Just watch. Look a few years down the road, he's going to I'm telling you, it's a high floor. He might not have as high of a ceiling as like a Cam Ward or a Jalen Milroe, but he's a way higher floor than both those guys. I'll say that right now. Wild Wave. I don't understand why Tennessee would want to miss out on Carter Hunter. Also, don't they need a quarterback? LOL. Yeah, they so with Carter Hunter, why they would want to miss out. They wouldn't necessarily want to miss out. They have so many holes. The mentality for them is they'd be trading back and recouping so many more assets to fill those holes rather than trying to just go out and get an Abdul Carter, a Travis Hunter, just going to fill one of their many holes. The way they look at it is if they were to trade back, they said they're going to say best option available. They don't view Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter as this generational type guy. I could see them trying to trade back, recoup draft capital, and fill more of their holes. That's what I can see them trying to do. Austrian Jet Fan has become a channel member. Number one Austrian Jet Fan. That's another raffle ticket for you. Appreciate your support here on the program. As always, up to 6 already on this month. Thanks so much for the 5 gifted memberships earlier today. Appreciate your support on the show as always. That's a ticket to get into our membership raffle for this month. Every $2.99 super chat, every gifted membership will get you a ticket into our raffle. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate all your support. Can't thank you guys enough. First few months we've done this, you guys have absolutely killed it. So appreciate all you guys as always. Where were we? Italian Eddie Ralph, we need to address the run defense this offseason too. I agree. That's why it's great that this is a deep D-line class. And the interior defensive linemen and free agency are really, really solid. There's some really legit defensive linemen in this year's class. Like, really legit names. Like, even if you want to look in the first round after Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, who I think could fit in the Jet scheme really, really nicely. A Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. There's some really, really solid interior guys. Really, overall, Walter Nolan, like I said, Derek Harmon's another one from Oregon. So, Darius Alexander from Toledo, TJ Sanders from South Carolina, and then Tyleik Williams, another one from Ohio State. there's some really, really solid interior defensive linemen in this year's class. Jamari Caldwell's another huge one. If you want to look in one of the later rounds, there's some really, really solid interior defensive linemen that you could draft this year and also sign some in free agency. So I agree. It's certainly a need, and the need the Jets can most definitely address this offseason. Number one Austrian Jet fan comes in with 10 more gifted memberships. That is 10 more raffle tickets for the number one Austrian Jet fan. Thank you so much, number one Austrian Jet fan, for all your support here on the show. Harry W., Reese Quintain, Addison, Louis Ray, Steve V, Dan the Jets fan 21, Boy Green, Richie from Jets Media, Amir Lambden, Who's Your Daddy, all receiving memberships from our number one Austrian Jet fan. 10 more raffle tickets for you. Thank you guys so much for all your support. And guys, number one Austrian Jet fan making a push right away to come in and take the raffle by storm, trying to get a commanding lead here. Everyone else, you got some catching up to do if you guys want to have the best chance to win our prizes right away. So every $2.99 super chat and every gifted membership will get you a ticket. Get in on the raffle if you haven't already. Doing it all month long. Then it gets cut off 2 days before the month ends. We do the raffle on the last day of the month. So Austrian Jet fan, appreciate that. And I can't thank you guys enough for all your support on the show. Like I said, where were we in the chat? Big fella in the building says Jackson Dart is coming. Based on what, big fella? You like the way he threw in his underwear, so you think the Jets are going to see that and they want to draft him? All of a sudden, the way he threw a few nice routes in his underwear? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Look at the big picture. Jackson Dart made good plays. Like, if you're watching Jackson Dart highlights, you're going to think he's the quarterback one in this year's class. If you go and you examine a few of his games, play by play, not just highlights, because people are gonna. I've talked to some people and they're some Jet fans, and they're like, Jackson Dart's great under pressure. What are you talking about? I said, what are you watching? There's his highlights. His highlights are great. Keyword highlights. They're not going to show where he collapses and throws interceptions 9 out of the 10 times. They're going to show you the 1 out of 10 times where he is able to, make a play. They're not going to showcase how awful and how embarrassing his mechanics are. They're going to show you the plays where his mechanics look okay. He's able to make some plays. So you can't watch highlights when it comes to evaluating a quarterback. Sko with a $10 super chat. That's a few raffle tickets for you, Sko. Thanks so much for all your support here on the program. As always, would you add Breece Hall to get the number one pick in a trade package? I mean, I think you're trying to say, would you trade Breece Hall? Good question. I was in a mock draft. I actually did this the other day, which is so funny. Depends who else is in the package. It's a good question. If the Jets are in love with Cam and they're doing it no matter what, sure, I'd be open to it. In the sense, maybe you could do Breece, Davante, 2 second-round picks, and then in exchange for the 1. I would do that. But only in the right package. Like, I'm not adding him to a deal when you already have 2 1s and 2 2s in there. Good question at the right. I don't want to trade up in general, but if they're gung-ho on trading up with the right package, I wouldn't hate adding Breece in there. Just because you know where I am on Breece. Get a couple day 3 picks. I'll do it. I just think he's not going to get a second contract, and I really like the running backs this year. Running backs look great yesterday at the combine as well. So I really like the running back class overall this year too. So I'd be okay with that. Dicker the Kicker in the house. Connor, who's your favorite mainstream media quarterback evaluator? Kurt Benkert, the former Packers backup quarterback. If you consider him a mainstream type guy, he's my favorite one. But like mainstream, I like Daniel Jeremiah a lot from the NFL Network. Greg Cosell is okay, not my favorite. I listen to him sometimes though. I'm trying to another name's on the tip of my tongue. I'm trying to think of him. Who's the other? Let me see. I have him in my YouTube. Let's see. Trying to pull him up here on YouTube because I listen to him all the time. I think it might have been. I can't find him. It's a former player who wasn't that good. He played for the 49ers for a little while. I know Dylan Tarriman, who might still be in the chat, listens to him a lot. I've been listening to him the past few days, and he's really, really solid when it comes to like not only how do you scout, how do you become a talent evaluator, but also his takes when it comes to evaluating. He wasn't Dicker the Kicker wasn't Sims or Chase Daniels. JT O'Sullivan, Dylan says. That's who it is. JT O'Sullivan. Yeah, the quarterback school, the former 49ers quarterback. That's who it is. So to answer your question, Dicker the Kicker, I don't listen to all the big names. I try to find the guys on YouTube who are like not great quarterbacks. That I love someone if they were a great quarterback, but again, it's somewhat like, for example, Kurt Benkert. The average football fan doesn't know. He was the third string quarterback with the Packers for a long time, and then he went to the UFL. So not a lot of people know him, but he's really, really solid. Like, his evaluation on Will Howard's great. That's one of the main reasons I'm big on Will Howard. His evaluation on Howard is stout. Let's see, where are we? Zachary, did you see Jalen Milroe hand size grow with the combine? What was it, 9.5-inch hands? 9.5-inch hands. I think that's what he had. Look, after going to the Senior Bowl and many say Jalen Milroe super, like, really, his draft stock took a hit going to the Senior Bowl. He had rose after the combine. Jets quarterback coach Charles London pulled him off to the side, had a conversation. Could be something to look out for in day 3, Jalen Milroe. He's someone who's just a big swing. He has the highest ceiling in this year's draft, but he also has the lowest floor. Round 4, round 5, Milroe's still on the board. I think you could run that up. Just explosive overall, dual threat type guy, dynamic arm, can push the ball down the field. Well-built frame, 6'2", 225. Still developing. He's going to be 23 in December. High ceiling. I wouldn't hate him on day 3. Sharon, trade for Mike Mayer and draft Warren, our tight ends for the next 10 years. I'd give up a day 3 pick for Mike Mayer and you draft Warren. I wouldn't hate that. You need to revamp the whole tight end room. So you're telling me I could give up a 5th for Mayer, you draft Warren at 7 or in a trade back, you bring in 2 tight ends, I'd be fine with that. I mean, you guys know my stance on Warren. I wasn't big on Brock Bowers, but I'm big on Warren if he's there at 7, personally. He is equipped with that same traditional tight end build, 6'6", 261. Strong burst acceleration after the catch, a huge catch radius. Overall, a weapon with in this outstanding concept of, outside alignment and stuff like that. I really like Tyler Warren this year. All right, looks like we're all caught up in the chat. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you smash the like button and you are subscribed to the channel. Appreciate all your support. Keep the questions flowing. I'll get to those. Pin comment at the top of the chat to call into the show. One more question here before we go over to the phone lines. Teresa, who were you most impressed with at the combine? Any position? Shamar Stewart, edge rusher out of Texas A&M. The way he measured in, similar to Myles Garrett. I think he really upped his draft stock. The one main problem with Shamar Stewart is he had 4.5 sacks in college. So you draft him, you're gambling on that crazy traitsy type guy with no production. On the Jets, I'm not touching him with a 6-foot pole, but for other NFL teams, he could be really intriguing given his traits and given all the upside he possesses. So Shamar Stewart, I think, really upped his draft stock the way he measured in at the combine. That's where I am. Like I said, keep the questions coming. We'll get to those. Pin comment top of the chat. If you want to call into the show, let's go over to the phone lines. I got a big fella is on the line. Big fella, you're on NY Flight Jets Talk.
Hey, man. Good show, by the way.
Appreciate it as always. Appreciate
you.
All
right. Let me read you some. You're not high on Jackson Dart, right?
No.
Well, let me tell you some weaknesses. It says. Okay. Can be inconsistent in his approach, needs to play inside the offense, and shows more discipline. Too eager to go big game hunting, ravenous appetite for the explosive play and bring unwanted trouble. Willingness to default to playground style appears to limit his ability to get into a consistent rhythm. Needs to improve anticipatory reads and learn to take what the defense gives him. Decision-making can go from good to bad at a moment's notice. Operates from a narrow base and allows upper body and arm to race ahead of his feet. Okay, I think you said that, right?
Yeah, his lower body mechanics are embarrassing.
Okay. Has a dip and wind up in his standard release. Explosive delivery and follow-through causes some balls to sail. Needs better touch on intermediate and deep balls, carries ball little low in the pocket, impatient, will leave pocket prematurely rather than standing in and winning in rhythm. Better as a scrambler than a pure runner. Would you agree with all that?
Some of them, I think they were. Where'd you get that from?
That's on the Red Zone.
Okay, I think they were a little. Again, I'm not someone who's high on Dart. He's my quarterback 5 this year, but they were being a little harsh on some of those takes. I agreed with some of them. I had a lot less overall negatives. Some were similar, some were different. Here's what I have from like a negative standpoint. The scheme that he runs with Lane Kiffin, I've been big on that. Very slow mental processing, reading defenses
Bro.
post snap.
I never said it was. I never said it was Dart though. That was Mahomes, brother.
Oh, you said it, I thought you said it was Dart.
All that stuff can be fixed. Yeah. All the stuff Dart has can be fixed. Okay, yeah, he was throwing around in his underwear, but the thing is, he can throw the ball, and the mechanics. You get a good quarterback coach, and he's going to be good.
Yeah, but is that worth picking up? At that point, I'd rather wait till next year. I don't think he's worth the 7th overall pick. He's not someone I look at, and
that was Mahomes when he came out. And I'm not saying he's Mahomes, but what I'm saying is, okay, there's talent there, and you have to be able to. If you see the talent, you go get the talent. That's my point.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I just don't think Jackson Dart is worth the 7th overall pick. He's a project. It's not like he's gonna have to sit for a full season no matter what.
Well, so did Mahomes.
What?
Mahomes sat for a whole year too.
Yeah, I know.
Yes,
I don't think he's Patrick Mahomes though. Mahomes is lower body
no one's
mechanics.
Patrick Mahomes. No one's Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes did not have lower body mechanics that were nearly close to that embarrassing of the fact
that's what they just said in his draft description.
Big fella though, we haven't seen anyone like Jackson Dart with his mechanics where his lower body twitches the complete opposite way of where his top half goes.
Bro, they said it in the description.
They said they're less than stellar. Yeah, he said
no. Let me see. It says, where is it? Operates in a narrow base and allows his upper body and arm to race ahead of his feet. Okay, so he's turning and it's going ahead of his feet. Okay, I'm telling you, mechanics can be fixed. His arm strength, his moxie, all that stuff. That's inherent. That's like innate, and he's. I think he's going to be good. If we could trade back for him, that'd be great. Okay, at 7 it is a little rich. I agree with that, but if we trade back maybe with the Cowboys and stuff like that and pick him, I'm cool with that.
Here's the thing, big fella. I don't think Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are going to want to take a quarterback this year's draft. Because first off, I don't think it's all that stellar overall. Like Jackson Dart, last year's class, he's a quarterback 5. He's probably a quarterback 5 or 6 last year's class. Let's be real. Now we're talking about him as potential number 2 guy coming off the board, which would have never happened in last year's class. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, big fella. If they draft a quarterback this year or next year, it's going to be one of the two. They have at least a 3-year plan tied to that guy. And their future with the Jets, their life with the Jets is going to be tied to that quarterback.
I know it.
And Jackson Dart isn't a guy I look at and say he's able to come in and he's able to make an impact right away to keep Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji afloat compared to waiting till next year like a Garrett Nussmeier or a Drew Aller, who I think are going to benefit significantly from staying in school. Like Nico from Tennessee, I like him. I just think he could benefit from staying in school. I don't think he's ready to come out.
Nico's not ready.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't think he's ready to come out next year. And we don't know what you have with Arch Manning, but overall, Garrett Nussmeier and Drew Aller are 2 guys I think are far more NFL ready than Jackson Dart. You need to take Jackson Dart. I understand you're going to compare him to Patrick Mahomes, but
I'm just saying. Yeah. In the description with mechanics and all that stuff. I'm not saying he's Mahomes.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is they ran similar offenses, okay, in college. He ran the air raid and so did it's a hybrid like air raid, and Mahomes ran the air raid at Texas Tech. I'm just saying if he can get the coaching and stuff like that, I'm not saying he should start either. He should sit and then, bring in a Fields or somebody like that. But I think that he has a lot of potential to be really good in the league, and I don't want to pass up on him.
Look, big fella, if he's somehow there in the 2nd round, it'd make me feel a lot more. He's not going to be there. He's not worthy of a 1st-round pick, though. Like, look back to last year's draft class and look at all those guys. He would not have gone in the 1st round. This is a weak. Like, look at how much the quarterback 2 has been fluctuating. It went from Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, boom, that was it, to Cam Ward and Jalen Milroe was up there for a little while.
Yeah.
erase him. Now they're talking about him as a day 3 guy. Then Jackson Dart's name rose up draft boards, and it was Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, and then Shedeur Sanders.
Right.
And now after the combine, people are saying Quinn Ewers now has a chance of being the number 2 ranked quarterback, who was pretty much going in all mock drafts in the 6th or 7th round.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, don't sleep on Jackson Dart, man. Jackson Dart beat Jaden Daniels. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, don't sleep on him. He has the talent, man. He really does. Just
he has potential. He has upside. I see it for sure.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's worth the 7th overall pick. I don't think coming
in. No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Because you can't draft a quarterback in the first round 2 years in a row. And I'm telling you, Cam Ward's a good quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is an okay quarterback. No quarterback in this year's draft class is going to take you to the promised land. Next year, there are names that I have a strong feeling could do so.
Well, Arch may not come out.
I'm not big on Arch.
Nico shouldn't come out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of Aller.
Why?
I just don't think he's that good.
What about him, though?
His performance in the bowl game, plus
bowl game. Come on.
No, I know, but I'm saying overall, I'm just not a fan of his. I think Dart's better than him, to be honest. So
Nussmeier,
I haven't seen too much of.
Lenora Sellers
is supposed to be good. I watch Tennessee. I only see him once a year, so I don't know, but I did watch Jackson Dart because of the whole playoff implications and stuff like that, and he's really good.
I see what you're saying, big fella. I just don't think he's a 7th overall talent.
Okay, no, that's fine. We're entitled to our own opinions.
Yeah.
I don't think he's. If I had my choice, I wouldn't pick him at 7. I'd trade back and pick him up there.
The NFL teams don't do that, though. That's the thing. If he's their guy, I think if the Jets are going to take him, Muji and Glenn's mentality is going to be, this is our guy for the future. I don't think they wait and hold their breath and hope that he's there in a trade back scenario when you trade back to pick 20 or 25 back into the first round. Are you saying you make the pick at 7 and trade back into the first round, or just trade back straight up?
We could do that, or we could trade back. Okay, like Dallas probably wants Ginty. Trade back with Dallas and then pick him up there, because I don't think there's any quarterback needy teams between them. So,
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I'm not the executive, so it's a tough call. But anyway, Connor, good show.
Appreciate it.
Good show. Everybody's got their own opinions, man, and
yes,
keep up the good work.
Appreciate the call as always, my friend. Have a good day.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big fella checking in here on the program. Great call as always from the big fella. We don't disagree. We don't agree on Jackson Dart. I mean, comparing him to Patrick Mahomes, I think is a little much. You're going to mention the mechanics with Patrick Mahomes. His mechanics weren't incredible coming out, but Jackson Darts are almost close to unfixable. Almost close to unfixable, the way he looks when he's throwing the ball. Additionally, when Mahomes was good because he was poised. You could knock him for a lot of things coming out. He was poised. Pressure comes at Dart, panics. Tries to make a big play, throws an interception. Next up, something that you didn't mention, Dart is way, way too slow to read the defense. That's not going to happen when Myles Garrett's coming off the edge and hunting for your head in the NFL. He's going to get his head ripped off. Mahomes was also very, very aware, able to read defenses. That's not who Jackson Dart is. There are some similarities in how they were weak coming out, but I think Jackson Dart is closer to Zach Wilson as a prospect than he is Patrick Mahomes. That's what I think. Appreciate you all tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button. You are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all your support. Keep the questions coming in. If you got them, throw them in the chat. Call into the show, pin comment, top of the chat, and then call and then like I said, every $2.99 super chats will cut the line. Every $2.99 super chat, every gifted membership will get you a ticket into our raffle. Some breaking news here on the program. I'm going to pull this up in a tweet now from Ian Rappaport. We're talking about him a little while ago with Cuca Lake Jet fan. Here it is. According to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network Insider, says the Jets are now taking calls on star wide receiver Davante Adams, open to trading him prior to the start of the league year. No surprise with his $32.8 million cap number. If they don't get a deal, if they can't get a deal, they are expected to release Adams, who could rejoin Aaron Rodgers with a new team. This is interesting. This is really, really interesting because, like I said, Um, it's so interesting because, again, like I said, Davante Adams is someone we assumed Aaron Rodgers is out. Boom, the Jets are cutting him. His cap number is crazy. You can't get anything in a trade. If you can get anything from Davante Adams in a trade, I think you trade him. What is his value though? We just saw freaking Deebo Samuel go for a 5th round pick. What is Davante Adams' value? A conditional 5th? A conditional 4th? It's so interesting. Like, at that point, would you rather take the... Let me go to over the cap quickly. I'm not going to... Post-June 1 designation with Adams, you could save over $30 million, but that doesn't matter because that doesn't go in effect until June. Pre-June 1 cut with Davante Adams, you save $29 million and eat $8 million in dead cap. Would you guys rather do that or get a 6th round pick for him? I'd rather do that and open up the cap room than get a 5th or a 6th round pick for him, personally. If a team says we'll give you a 3rd for Davante, you take that and run. If a team says you can get a 6th, get a 6th or a 7th, we'll do that a conditional 6th, a conditional 6th, a conditional 5th. I'd rather just cut him and save the 20-something. I'd rather cut him and ultimately net out saving $21 million. What are you going to do with another day 3 pick? Just cut him at that point. I don't get it. I see you guys saying Adams greater than Deebo. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Deebo Samuel doesn't have a $38.5 million cap number in 2025. He's a $17 million cap hit. Caden, I'm taking a 3rd or a 4th. Heck, I would take a 3rd or a 4th too. You're not getting that though. Deebo Samuel, all right, let's compare and contrast their numbers from this past season. Let's pull it up. So Davante Adams. Let's see. Also, keep in mind that Deebo's cap number is over $20 million less than his. Adams' numbers last season: 10th in targets, 15th in yards, 12th in touchdowns. Deebo Samuel now. 49th in targets, 46th in yards, 58th in touchdowns. So yes, Adams was significantly better last season, but Deebo battled injuries majority of this past season, and I don't know. I'm saying I agree Davante Adams is better than Deebo Samuel. The thing is, who's taking on that cap hit? And I know that you're going to say restructure. Guys, restructuring is just pushing that money even further down the road. I think what you're getting for Davante Adams with that cap hit, if that team has to eat it, you're getting a 6th round pick. You are. Because while he's been solid from a production standpoint, he's nowhere near worth $38.5 million at this point in his career. So you're going to say, I know Davante Adams is a better player than Deebo Samuel. I agree with that 1,000%. And you could try to restructure. You're just pushing that money down the road. That's what you're doing by restructuring Davante Adams. Get a 3rd or 4th round pick. You run with it. If it's anything less than a 4th round pick, you just cut him and eat the hit. Not eat the hit. Save the money, rather. Excuse me. It's going to be interesting, though. And if there's any breaking news tonight or in the future, we'll be back on to discuss it. For better or worse, in the sense that the Jets get a great deal or they don't get a great deal. I would rather save $20 million than acquire a day 3 pick. Wild Wave, get a conditional 2026 4th. That could be a 3rd or 2nd. Who's giving you that, though? Who's giving you that? Who's giving you that for Davante Adams when someone whose cap number is less than $20 million, whose cap hit is $17 million, who in years prior was comparable to Davante Adams, went for a 5th round pick? Who's giving you that, Wild Wave? J-Max, I agree on $38 million, but he would redo deal if he goes to the best. If he goes to best team, I think 5th round is good. If you redo the deal, you're just pushing money further down the road. Do you guys not get that? I think people think when you restructure something, the money just automatically goes away. You just push money further down the road. That creates even more cap hell for the team that's acquiring him. The absolute best you are getting And you're saying the absolute best for Davante Adams is a 5th round pick. I think you get a 6th for him. Absolute best, it's a 5th, but you get a 6th. Probably. Wild Wave, a contender. Hello. The Ravens? They need some wide receiver help. Commanders off the table. They just traded for Debo. Texans, maybe? Chargers, maybe? The list is slim. I don't think you're getting anything better than a 5th round pick for him. That's the absolute best I think you get for Davante. J-Max, Pato, well, the Jets would never trade him to the Patriots, and they have a lot of cap room, but they have so many holes, so I don't think they would want to pick up his cap hit one way or another. And the Jets would certainly not trade him in division. Look, if you can get I think a lot of people are going to go in the boat if you could get anything good because you're just cutting him straight up in that sense. So people might be like, yeah, even if you get a pick, trade him. But people don't remember you can save $20 million. $20 million by cutting him. J-Max Pats at $130 million to spend, LOL. They literally have a hole at every position except safety and quarterback. If you think about that, $130 million sounds crazy, so much money to spend. The amount of holes they have, how barren their roster is overall, it's not that much money when you really think about it. Yeah, Jimmy says even a contender won't give you a 4th. They will just wait to cut. That's why I said at best, the absolute best case scenario, you are picking up a 5th round pick for him. A day 3 pick, is that worth more than saving $20 million? In my mind, it isn't. Just wait for you to cut him and then pick him up in exchange for nothing. Jets Worldwide trade Davante to the Giants so he can play with Aaron. Imagine they trade him to the Giants and Aaron ultimately doesn't go there. That would be hilarious. Wild Wave Adams only has $10 million in prorated bonuses and 1.5 in roster bonus. Everything is based on base salary. He can give that back. But why would he want to give that back? Davante Adams' dream is the Jets cut him and he has his options. He can pick anywhere, no matter where he wants to go. That's his dream. And he can go out on a fresh deal. So if you're Davante Adams, why would you want to give that money back? There's no benefit of him doing that. I think what he doesn't want to get traded. I can tell you that right now. He doesn't want to be traded. His goal right now is to be cut. That's what he wants. He wants to be cut and he wants to have his pick. Where can I go? All 31 other teams on the table. I want to go to this team. That's what he wants to happen. Because he would be a nightmare. I'm telling you, he could be a nightmare at times. So, I'm not. Why would he give anything back? Why would he give anything back? Ricky New York Live. Connor, do you have a link to the actual Samini article about Travis? Sure, I'll throw it in the chat. Ricky. I don't know if you have ESPN Plus. It's behind the paywall. I'll send it to you, though. I'll throw it in the chat. Stand by. Here it is, Ricky. Just came through the chat. It's behind the paywall, so you need ESPN Plus in order to read it. He does his weekly news dump there, Samini, and it's under the topic Mystery Man. It's the 2nd or 3rd topic up on that thing, up on the article. So if you have ESPN Plus, read it. If not, yeah, I think you have to buy ESPN Plus in order to read it. But that is the official link for Ricky and everyone else who's interested in reading the official article from Rich Samini. There it is. I think we're going to wrap up here soon. I appreciate you all tuning in. Make sure you smash the like. You are subscribed to the channel, so last chance to get your question, comments, thoughts in here. Last chance to call into the show with a pinned comment at the top of the chat before we wrap. Adam stuff, somewhat breaking news. If there is any official breaking news, though, I will let you know. Any official breaking news that the Jets make a decision on Davante Adams, I will come back on and I will let you know because I appreciate your support as always. And hey, they could, it could be interesting what they do with Davante Adams. Do they cut him? Do they trade him? It would be impressive by Darren Mushi if he can muster out anything. I just wouldn't like it. Like, it would be great by Darren Mushi if he can muster out anything for Davante Adams. I just don't think it's worth it at this point. Might as well cut him and save the $20-something million in my eyes. That's where I am with Adams. That's going to do it for me. Appreciate you all tuning in. Smash the like. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel on this Sunday afternoon. Back tomorrow, 8 p.m. EST with Nick Farrier of Athlon Sports, Jets beat writer in his weekly spot. We'll talk Adams. We'll talk all things New York Jets with Nick. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you smash the like button. You are subscribed to the channel. It's completely free, and it helps us grow significantly here on the show, hunting for 2,000 subscribers by the start of the NFL draft. So it's completely free and it helps us grow significantly. Can't thank you guys enough for all your support here on this Sunday afternoon. That'll do it for me. I'm your host, Connor Long, signing off. JETS, 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 Jets.